In 2015, the Warriors played the Memphis Grizzlies in the second round and were down 2-1 in the series, but ended up winning the next 3 games to advance. Then in 2016, the Warriors played against OKC Thunder in the Western Conference Finals and were down 3-1, but then Game 6 Clay emerged and the Warriors ended up advancing again. Then, in 2018, the Warriors again found themselves in a hole down 3-2 against James Harden and the Houston Rockets, but they refused to lose and found a way to win. Being down in the series isn't anything new to the Golden State Warriors, and this year against the Boston Celtics is no different. No matter how bleak things seem to be, the Golden State Warriors can still win the 2022 NBA championship, and today we're going to go over exactly what needs to be done for this to happen. First off, I'm going to point out the obvious, and that's getting buckets in the paint. So far in these series, the team that wins the interior battle and scores more in the paint wins the ball game. In Game 1, for example, the points in the paint were 34-26 in favor of Boston, and they ended up winning the game. Then in Game 2, the Warriors outscored Boston 40-24 in the paint and ended up getting the W. Then, in Game 3, the Celtics dominated the Warriors 52-26 in the paint and ended up taking a 2-1 lead in the series. Boston may be the bigger and lengthier team, but to be perfectly honest, so was Denver, so was Memphis, and so was Dallas. So, if the Golden State Warriors want to win this series and win the 2022 NBA championship, they need to play with more aggression and win the battles in the paint. And this leads me directly to my next point. Bigger, lengthier, and more athletic. Bigger, lengthier, and more athletic. I'm going to zoom in really quick onto the Warriors bench and, look at this. Jonathan Kuminga stands 6'8" with a 6'11" wingspan and is arguably the most athletic player on either team. Sure, he might just be a rookie, but his ability to impact the game physically can't be underestimated. I mean, just take a look here. Here's Kuminga in the paint posting up Dinwiddie in the Western Conference Finals. Clay throws in the ball here, then against a 6'6" defender, Kuminga just uses his strength and leaping ability to finish over him for an easy bucket in the paint.
Real bounce to his game, but he is blitzed quickly and Kuminga is inside against Dinwiddie.
Here's Kuminga again in transition. After running up the floor quickly, Draymond dishes him the ball, then he finishes over the shot blocking ability of Brandon Clark.
The rebound. Green to Kuminga inside.
Sheesh, guys. The truth about Kuminga is, he's still extremely raw, isn't the best three-point shooter, but if you need interior defense and someone who can make things happen around the rim, he's the man for the job. And Steve Kerr should really think about putting the young rookie on the floor for spurts at a time to inject some size and athleticism. Anyway, moving on here. The next thing the Warriors need to do is limit turnovers. Just like how it was with points in the paint in this series so far, the team that turns the ball over less is winning the game. I mean, in that first game, the Warriors turned the ball over 14 times in contrast to the 12 times by the Celtics. Then in that second game, the Celtics turned the ball over 18 times in contrast to the 12 by the Warriors. Then in Game 3, the Warriors turned it over 16 times in contrast to the 12 by the Celtics. This final series is really a battle of inches, and it's these small things that are causing big momentum shifts that are winning games. Anyway, my next point is going to be the fact that Draymond Green needs to get better. I mean, he's being completely manhandled by Robert Williams around the rim, and this is looking like barbecue chicken. Sheesh, guys. The Time Lord is having a feast by the rims, and is it just me, or does he seem to be getting bigger game by game? All jokes aside, Draymond is the heart and soul of this Warriors team and is one of the best defenders in the modern NBA. He definitely could and has to play better. There's no way around it. If the Warriors are to win the championship, Draymond Green needs to impose his will on the defensive end of the court and limit the points in the paint by the Celtics. Anyway, next off here, let's talk a little bit about offense. I never thought I'd hear myself saying this, but the Golden State Warriors need a little more offense. Steph Curry is already playing amazing. I mean, he's averaging about 31 points per game on nearly 49% shooting from three-point range, and whether it's from the outside, the mid-range, or at the basket, he's been the only Warrior who has been consistent in scoring so far in the finals, and I don't think we can ask anything more out of the two-time MVP. On the other hand, Poole and Thompson need to play better. First, let's get into Poole. JP3 has been a huge reason why the Warriors are having the success they are currently having, but in the finals so far, he's putting on a disappearing act. So far in the finals, Poole has been averaging 12 points a game, which just isn't going to cut it. I know, the Celtics can switch almost everything and they play tremendous defense, but Poole needs to and can play better. There's not too many players on the Celtics that Poole can take advantage of, but if there's one, it's got to be Peyton Pritchard. I mean, just look here. Here's Poole being guarded by Pritchard. As you can see, Poole can easily use his speed to his advantage in these matchups.
Nice wrinkle for Smart against Curry. Pull, drive, and finish.
Also, Poole needs to attack that drop coverage that Steph Curry is using to get open looks. Because, look here. Here's Poole again being guarded by Pritchard. And after the high pick and roll with Looney, Poole here gets a wide open three in rhythm.
A wide open look. Poole with the answer.
Boston doesn't have too many defensive weaknesses, but they aren't perfect. Poole definitely has his angles of attack, and he needs to use it more often because Steph can't win this series alone. Next off is Klay Thompson. Klay played well in Game 3, scoring 25 points on only 17 shots, and although I know the Warriors lost Game 3, if Klay can play like this for the rest of the series, the Warriors will be in a prime position to win the championship. And the only thing Klay really needs to make adjustments for is shot selection. I mean, Klay can make difficult shots, but if he just plays a simple game and only takes the open looks given to him by the Warriors' ball movement, then that'll help him be a lot more consistent in the shooting percentages. Anyway, after watching the film on what happened, here's what Klay had to say when a reporter asked him what needs to be picked up in the series more, defense or offense. After watching the films, I think defensively, we need to be better. Play with a little more force on that end. They looked very comfortable in their shooting and ball movement and getting to the rim. Then, following that question, a reporter asked Klay about Draymond and his defensive performances, and Klay responded, "Well, Draymond is here for a reason. We would not be the Warriors without Draymond. He's one of the best players I've ever played with, one of the smartest players I've ever played with. And all of us are human. We're not immune to a bad night or two. But I know one thing for sure, and that's we respond like champions. And I know that Draymond will come out and play his typical brand of ball that is very physical, fast-paced, and trash-talking and being the money green that Dub Nation loves so much and has brought us to heights the franchise has never seen before." Anyway, guys, the Warriors are going to respond to whatever the Celtics throw at them. And though initially I thought the Warriors would win this far easier, I still see the Dubs winning this series even if it has to go to 7 games. What are your thoughts on what the Warriors need to do to win this championship? Let me know in the comments down below. Then after that, I want you to check out how Jordan Poole became a doppelganger of Steph Curry, because the truth is, he has. It's insane. And although I'm not saying that he's Steph, he's actually the closest thing to Steph right now in the NBA. Anyway, just click the video, guys, and like always, I'll see you on the other side.